Namaskar, welcome to one more session on rural management. I am Ashwin Kumar here. We will be discussing about the rural tourism. So what are we going to discuss today about in this session? We are going to discuss and explore about tourism youth clubs. To be more precise, I would say rural tourism youth clubs. What is this rural tourism youth clubs? Let us understand what are the important points that is being covered here. So what is the background for starting these tourism clubs? So let us know this thing, standard general information, but still to get on with the session. 1.3 billion people live in India, making this country the second most populous in the world. I think right now it has surpassed that. But with an average age of 29, it has one of the youngest populations globally. India is a home to a fifth of the world's youth demographic, and this population advantage could play a critical role in achieving the nation's ambitious target to become $5 trillion economy. The large youth population offers both a workforce as well as a market. These young people, these young people are driving a culture of innovation, entrepreneurship and diversity. In view of the demographic dividend that India has, it is essential to educate and elevate these young minds towards India's natural and cultural heritage through tourism. Through tourism, we need to educate the youth towards its natural and cultural heritage. What is it? Let us know. Ministry of Tourism intends to celebrate this year India at 75 while launching a campaign focused towards Yuva tourism. In this respect, one of the initiative would be to develop tourism clubs. I would specifically say rural tourism clubs. These clubs would target different categories of schools, colleges and working age groups. What do they do? What is the objective? The tourism clubs, rural tourism clubs, is an important aspect for promoting responsible and sustainable tourism in the country. The initiative would help in developing the right culture among the youth of the country through formulating social clubs at various academic institutions. The major objective of the proposed mission could be, number one, to educate youth about diverse cultures and geographies of this country, unity in diversity. To appreciate the importance of travel and tourism in education, experiential tourism. To create awareness about tourism opportunities at an early age. To teach and propagate responsible tourism practices. To train students as skilled tourist guides and volunteers in hospitality sector. To facilitate better coordination for study tours and student exchange programs. I would suggest that most of the students who are studying in different parts of the country, they should have the student exchange programs between different schools, different universities, different departments. People from the north should visit south, people from the east should visit west, vice versa. This beautiful amalgamation should happen. When this beautiful amalgamation should happen, then we are exposed to different cultures, different traditions. That is our India's rich heritage. Tourism clubs at schools, colleges, university levels, especially NSS department, take the lead. Yes, I speak too much about NSS department. Yes, they should take the lead. It's not that other departments should not, but I would definitely say they take the lead in that. They, the people who are going to create the leaders. So NSS people, my support is always with you. I hope you will coordinate with all the other departments and start rural tourism clubs in your respective universities. Right, now let us know what it is. The rural tourism clubs would be encouraged at the levels of schools, class 7th onwards, and colleges. Each college and school to have a dedicated rural tourism club, which would be headed by a faculty and a student coordinator responsible for functioning of the clubs. Members would consist of students with criteria of selection and limit decided by each institution. This rural tourism club at this level to have minimum 25 student members. Following activities at the school and college level are proposed. What are the activities? Let us see. First, let us organize competitions, essay writing, logo designing, photography, quiz, painting, poster designing. The next one is inclusion of travel and tourism in curriculum. Most important, the rural tourism. Next, organize sustainable and responsible tours in line with SDG agenda, that is Sustainable Development Goals agenda. Minimum impact to the natural areas that conserves environment. Travelers get a chance to interact with the local people and to understand their culture and tradition. The next one, Travel to locations in off-peak period which would help boost local tourism economy. Then we have got travel to locations in off-peak period which would help boost local tourism economy. Various tournaments can be combined with tourism where students can engage in tourism activities at different locations. Discovery of a lesser known destination with information on possible travel itineraries, nearby destination and tourism potential, etc. Then the feedback on social media. Yes, I need not tell you, most of you are on social media on different platforms. Use that to get, make your own money. Become a social media influencer. I hope most of you are. So kindly share the knowledge with others too. Feedback on social media platforms, thereby marketing the Indian destinations. If you are marketing the rare Indian destinations, you are directly promoting rural tourism. Next, fourth one. The rural tourism clubs should be formed at district, zonal and state level. Tourism clubs should be formed. The regional clubs would be overseeing the functions of the individual tourism clubs. Proposed activities of these district, zonal, state level tourism clubs are proposed as follows. Simple example, the people who are following, they have district cricket tournament is one. Cricket is very popular in India. We play it at district level, zonal level, city level, Ranji Trophy, IPL, name it. Why can't we have the same for tourism, especially for rural tourism? Organize conventions for competitions, seminars, informal activities related to rural tourism. Organize specialized tours, theme-based tours such as nature, birding, safari, trekking, heritage, pilgrimage, wellness, rural, etc. Seminar sessions by eminent persons from tourism and hospitality industry. Focus on the session on rural tourism, especially rural tourism circuits. Research group for identification and destinations with high tourism potential in the state. Lot of people are doing, the bird lovers, ornithologists, they visit around different parts of the country, different parts of the state, especially in Hyderabad. There's a bird, bird lovers club. They visit different areas. Role of Ministry of Tourism here. Ministry of Tourism would anchor the entire program by laying down policy, guidelines and providing requisite support. Ministry would encourage states to propagate the program through their schools and other institutions for developing clubs and undertaking proposed activities. Facilitate student interstate exchange programs, very important. Such that all the preconceived notions, ideas, assumptions goes out of the wind, goes into the wind. The real life scenarios, real life expectations, real life contact with one-to-one student of different areas will bring a drastic transformation in the child as well as in the society. Annual national enlisting of destination with high tourism potential. This is where the youth will play a key role, especially from the rural areas. If you can enlist your village, your area, build a story around it, find out the heritage about your village, about a monument there, about a temple, lake, anything, sitting with your grandfather, grandmother or somebody from the senior era, anything historical, visits by eminent people, that itself is a beautiful tourism potential, rural tourism potential. Then review of activities of various clubs at zonal and state level, publication in annual journal of activities and initiatives on the various tourism clubs, especially if you have a newsletter, you can publish the newsletter also. Here, when you are publishing a newsletter, you can do it in your local language or in English language. You will try to know about what is proofreading, grammatical errors, how to design the newsletter, the journal, everything is part of learning. You are indirectly learning some other activities here. The coordination, support, the fun around it. That is why it is very important to form these rural tourism clubs. Interact with online ministries, agencies for providing support to the program. Take the help of CSR Foundation for a lot of multinational companies. Discuss with a lot of government organizations. Visit these places. This also will help you in the long run, especially for the students, especially with the school. Started out with the schools after 7th standard or 8th standard. What is the role of other central ministries? Ministry of Education is to coordinate with institutions such as NVS, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, KVS, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sanghatan, then CBSE, universities and colleges to facilitate and formulation of tourism clubs, not only that, rural tourism clubs and related activities. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports can act as a facilitator and help in developing rural tourism clubs through its schemes such as RYSK, NSS, institutions such as RGNIYD and programs such as National Youth Leader programs too. Kindly consider developing the rural tourism clubs as part of these programs. Ministry of Culture could promote cultural heritage of India through information of tourism clubs under its affiliated academies and Buddhist institutes. Here you can see the image where the students explore and learn, study tour and student exchange program that was organized there. Then convergence with the national missions, the Digital India mission. Today's youth use the latest technology and remain active on social media platforms. The feedback received by the youth shall help in promoting India through tourism through social media platforms. Digital India mission and PM Vani scheme can provide effectively Wi-Fi connectivity at tourist destination, which can be used by these young travelers. Atmanirbhar Bharat, travel to lesser known locations in off-peak period and spending on local products would help boost the local economy, which we have discussed previously, making India self-reliant. Then PM Mentoring Yuva scheme. The scheme helps in creating a pool of authors of below 30 years who are ready to express themselves and project India on any international platform. It also helps in projecting Indian culture and literature globally. Traveling to newer locations will provide opportunity for young minds to write about tourism and cultural heritage. That is our real strength of India, and we need to usher in the youth in this direction. These Yuva tourism clubs, what is the vision of these Yuva rural tourism clubs? The vision is to nurture and develop young ambassadors of Indian tourism who through thought, word and deed would promote the cultural heritage of India. The focus would be to foster ideals which are in harmony with sustainable development. That is the vision. Next, what are the objectives? The rural tourism clubs are an important step in promoting responsible and sustainable tourism in the country, as it aims to educate citizens of tomorrow at the grassroots level. Rural tourism helps in developing concerns for economic, social and environmental issues which are crucial to reduce its negative impact. The major objectives of the proposed mission are: number 1, engage learners to appreciate the importance of travel and rural tourism, ignite a passion for tourism and its value in learners, educate learners regarding the rich natural and cultural travel heritage present in our villages, towns, cities and states, sensitize the learners to various elements of travel, encourage, teach and propagate responsible tourism practices. Very important. Encourage, teach and propagate responsible tourism practices. Then improve physical and mental health through exploratory, adventure and sports tourism, and spread awareness about tourism opportunities at an early stage and encourage learners to be skilled professionals and entrepreneurs in the hospitality and tourism sector. Why this focus on tourism and the need for rural tourism clubs? Most of the heritage education forms, that is through natural heritage, performing arts and culture, etc. Finding expression through tourism, for example, Taj Mahotsav, a yearly festival in Agra, Uttar Pradesh. It happens to be a confluence of art forms, handicrafts, dance, music shows, cuisines and other experiences for which tourists and guests specifically visit it. The Taj Mahal, being a heritage monument, acts as a catalyst in increasing the tourist flow to this vibrant festival. That way we see tourism acting as a medium through which arts, crafts, monuments, heritage and culture finds its expression and appreciation. The aim of the tourism clubs is to use the advantage of tourism to educate and inform learners in fun and engaging ways. It thus helps learners to grow and become sensitive to diverse cultures. What is the rationale for institutionalizing the tourism clubs? The need to boost tourism in and around the local areas, to create citizens who become aware of possibilities of the tourist spaces locally and globally and turn champions of tourism in the future. I would say they will be the rural tourism brand ambassadors. To create space for contextualized learning, to make teaching of subjects like social studies, history, geography and language studies interesting through integration with real life places and events, to instill in students a passion in exploring the physical environment in historicity, grandeur and beauty. What are the clubs in schools do? The school management must select a teacher, a set of teachers to spearhead basic tasks of setting up, garnering interest, creating awareness, communicating the purpose and vision and selecting the student body, etc. The school management and teachers in charge must maintain a database of members with information like name of the student, member, class, contact and role. Sufficient awareness and knowledge about the club and its activities should be provided to students before they reach the class 7th. It should be created in an aspirational mode to ensure that the club has a minimum of 25 student members at any given point of time. The school management and teachers in charge must clearly define the roles of each particular class group in the club and also make efforts to convey the same to the students. The school management and teachers in charge must apprise of their efforts to other departments and clubs at the schools. The school management must allocate an exclusive notice board or channel of information for tourism club activities. The school management and teachers in charge must follow the recommended organizational structure for the tourism clubs. What is the organizational structure? Let us see that. Members from class 7 to 10 to participate in a weekly and fortnightly competitions like essay writing, logo designing, quiz, drawing, painting, poster making, acting and debating held under the topics and prompts involving Indian tourism. To travel to locations during peak, off-peak periods as part of school group, in turn boosting the local economy. In specific locations, it is recommended for members to get involved with the local community under the Rural Immersion Manual and offer the skills and ideas to better their tourist experiences through structured interactions with the local tourism staff and administration. And the next one is to adopt to hotspots near in and around the school areas. That's the best place. To take up or adopt tourism hotspot near and around the school areas and offer their services through volunteering and idea generation in order to boost tourist potential of the same. What are the organizational of activities? Very shortly. To take up responsibilities for conducting and preparing activities associated with the tourism clubs in outside school, initiate discussions with teachers and learners, to liaison with the relevant stakeholders outside the school, and also conduct regularly the SDG agenda, Sustainable Development Goals agenda, on quiz, poster designing. Every month you can have it. 17 Sustainable Development Goals are there. To create opportunities for learners and members to interact, appreciate and understand local culture and ways of life during their travel tours. Then to create interesting travel itineraries to different unknown destinations too. This is the basic agenda on which they will be working. Organization of activities. Then structure. The proposed functionaries are: on the top is the school teacher coordinator, under which the class 12th student who will be the outgoing student. Then under them will be student head, then treasurer, executive members, and the executive members 2 numbers, executive members 3, totally somewhere on roughly around a body of 11 members. Roles and responsibilities: the school teacher coordinator is appointed by the school management to spearhead the activities of the rural tourism club in the school. He or she has to appoint the class 12th student body and assign specific roles within the body through a regular process followed every year. He or she must attend all the class 12th student body meetings and guide the discussion along with the student head of the body. What are the suggested activities for the club? So what are I am giving you broad outline. Arranging talks and lectures by eminent scholars and experts. Then presentations, notice boards, exhibition on educational material, and I hope in your place we are having the annual national book fairs also. Please participate in those book fairs, promote your rural tourism clubs, any of the cultural activities that happen in and around your area where you reside, tell them about your rural tourism clubs. Then conducting quiz programs on Indian tourism and heritage, projects for conservation, work, adoption of historical monuments and other tourist locations. Then pen pal scheme, I think I don't know how many of you are still writing it. Pen pal scheme for interstate for sharing of views on tourism and what each of their state offers for tourism. Walk tours in the local city, nature walks, as I said, bird walks, tourism ideathons, like sit down, conduct like we have a hackathon, we are saying ideathon, tourism ideathon. I will be more specific to say rural tourism ideathon. Conduct in your school, in your college, welcome new ideas, make an action plan around it. Then setting up of the tourism stall in the school where students can market and promote tourist experiences. They can promote themselves as tourist guide to earn a decent pocket money. And allocating a particular day of a week as a tourism trip day each week before mapped within at least once in a month, instead of sitting in the same school and college academic. Break the routine, go outside, see the nature, meet the people. So that is where we call it as experiential living and learning. Students who are interested to hop onto school transport system on the particular day and time to go to a particular location every week in line with the theme. This creates opportunities for regular tourism and also adds fun, learning and friendly element to the school on that particular day. It's just not about school, it can be about anything. So what are the responsibilities of the student head? Very simple. Primarily taking the lead under the vision and objectives of the tourism clubs. Meet the outgoing student head and student body to review the club record and discuss the current activities. Conduct effective meetings by preparing a detailed agenda that outlines which will be covered and how long we will be allowing enough time for report. Plan creative programs for club meetings well in advance. Arrange for speakers, panel discussions, trips and entertainment. Delegate responsibility to help other members develop their leadership skills. Identify members' skills, interests. Work to ensure the club activities and service projects are successfully promoted. Pay attention to the members' growth, development and maintenance of balance. So the transition should happen very smoothly, because class 12 student, as they pass out, so they should hand it over to the next level, next generation. Then communicate and collaborate actively with the school teacher coordinator. These are some of the proposed lists, which are the trips for projects outside, undertaking projects for the local monuments, specific tourist locations, and spearheading the partnership with the tie-up with other groups and local tourist operators also, and projects like World Heritage volunteership that can also be done under UNESCO. You can do it, and interstate cultural exchanges for students can be done with a short unique tourist trips. So what are the proposed list of topics and club can offer? Then is career in tourism and hospitality. You can look at a career when you start nurturing the career right at the very young age, between 7th class to 10th class. They can think about a career in tourism and hospitality. Then the importance of tourism, tourism as an uplifter from poverty, environmental impacts of tourism, regenerative and sustainable tourism, role of media and journalists. If you want to be a potential journalist, you can be a video journalist. You are, a lot of people do blogging right now, video logging, vlogging we call it, writing a lot of blogs. And Tripoto is one website where a lot of people post their trips and everything. So please go ahead, explore your talent. Then psychology behind why we travel, tourism and social entrepreneurship, evolution of tourism, so many topics. That is what we have to talk about. Today we are talking about metaverse, spyverse and so many things. Why not tourism verse, rural tourism verse? Explore idea on that angle. I am just sharing it out of the blue. The specific spotlight and particular tourist location, case studies or inspirational stories, which we have discussed in the previous sessions. To create developing the talent in the students, like media and public relations, social media management, very very important. How you put your notes and how you write it. Most of the students today, you write with a language called GUD, good, DAT, DAT. That is not acceptable, my dear young friends. Kindly refrain from using that kind of language. Kindly use proper English. Don't even use Hinglish. Use proper English. You will be appreciated for it without any grammatical errors. I think all of you are aware of an app called Grammarly. Please download the app called Grammarly. Don't make any grammatical errors. So that is why all these things forms, and don't post anything very offensive. Yes, you have an opinion to express, but express it politely. You definitely have a point of view. Similarly, please respect the opinion of the other person. Every person has got the right to differ. Every person need not have right to concur with you, right? So you should have the ability to have a tolerance towards other things. Not what you say is absolutely correct. I respect your opinion. If possible, you respect my opinion. I like oranges, you like apples. That does not mean we should be fighting, right? I like a particular hero, you like a particular hero. That does not mean we are opening our talwar. So please, youngsters, youth, welcome opinions, welcome ideas, and say fine, that is your opinion, no issues. I respect your opinion and this is my opinion, I stand by it. Healthy atmosphere, win-win situation, not getting into conflicts. Then what are the responsibilities? Include maintaining all the club records, membership, attendance, record meeting, all important club members, how were your meeting, who are the rapporteurs there, what is the minutes of the meeting documented, what are the suggestions that had come, how many were implemented, how many were not implemented and why, what is the success outcome. Take a minute to clear, concise written record what was said at the meeting. That's what said, minutes of the meeting, very very important. Type of the meeting conducted, date, time and place, who is the presiding officer, maybe your school teacher coordinator. Attendance, record the meeting, take the signature of all the people. Then correction in the last minute's meeting, then treasurer's statement, any funds that have been collected, be accountable. Then summary of reports, and from the officers, summary of reports from the working groups. That is what makes a collective report also. Typically that we do it at the any institutional level. We call it as annual reports. So these are simple guidelines which we have been sharing. Creating a safe environment for students, especially to the girl students. keep in mind of all their biological needs also. So very, very important, creating a safe environment for the students. Develop and enforce a district youth protection policy, including guidelines for reporting allegations of discrimination, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, bullying, don't get into that, harassment, mistreatment to district leaders or local law enforcement. Include emergency service, local medical information, as well as 24-hour emergency district hotline number. Most important, your parents' mobile number should be on your mobile phone. Touch key. Ensure adult supervision for the meetings, field trips, activities and projects. Then permission and support of parents, very, very, very important, extremely important. The parents also have to be with you, be with the students. The teacher coordinator has the responsibility for the supervision and the control of all programs and activities organized within the school that involves minors traveling outside the local community or overnight stay. This information must be communicated to parents and permission should be sought in a documented way, not orally. When students are traveling out of the state of home residence or out of the home country, they must take into written permission and approval of the parents and legal guardians of each student. So this is what we are trying to talk about, the rural tourism youth clubs. I hope you are interested, you like this session. I really thank each one of you for making this entire session lively, informative and educative. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.